Miss Like it is. I hope everybody's doing wonderful. I'm doing good. Listen, this video is very heartfelt because I feel real bad for the younger generation of people coming up. And what I mean by younger generation, teens, 20s, and 30s. Okay. Um, the reason I feel bad for the younger generation is because of the mindset of the people or younger generation in this world. It's really sad. It's really sad. It used to be a time where um, love and relationships and marriages was so in there, so prevalent to happen. And now I look around and I see a lot of good young people having no opportunity to have a good mate. And it's really sad. I mean, I'm in the age group now, to be honest with you. I don't give a damn. I'm 52. Okay, so I'm like, I don't give a damn. Really. I'm past the point of caring if I ever have a real relationship or not. I'm just in a whole different mindset. Like I've really learned to just really love me, and embrace who I am. But now we're in a generation where young people that have a lot to offer, that have gone through school, got a degree, um, nice looking, and still can't find anybody. And I'm not saying that people without degrees are not eligible material. I'm not saying that because it's not really all about a degree. It's about who you are on the inside and it's about your heart, okay? All I'm saying is the word says the love of many have waxed cold. And that's what we're seeing today. We're seeing um, many people lack empathy, they lack love, you know, and this is the problem. There's no love. There's no real love. I have a I have a beautiful, handsome, well-mannered, intelligent, educated son. And it's hard for him to find a good, decent woman that doesn't play games, that is not out to try and get in his pocket. And I'm so glad my child is so smart and hip to that there are women that are gold diggers. I'm so glad my son is hip to that. No, my son is far from a fool. He's not weak about a woman's body. No woman's gonna just bamboozle him and play him for a fool. So I'm so glad, but I look at that and I'm like, it's not supposed to be like this for anybody. For any young person, it's not supposed to be hard to find someone that has true and genuine love. It's not supposed to be that way, but it is. And then I asked myself, why is it that way? What has changed from the days of when my mother was growing up or my grandmother was growing up? What has changed? Is it what we eat? Is it what we're breathing? Is it, I mean, you have to ask yourself, what is it? Is it spiritual? Because I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Is it just people's value systems just, diminished over the years? I mean, I think many things play a factor. I think upbringing plays a factor. What people value the most, how one see themselves. I had to tell my child, I said, you could be a good person, but maybe sometimes a person shuns away from you because they're not a good person. And often through the years, I had to even tell myself that, because when I was younger, I used to take rejection as a sign that I wasn't good enough. But guess what? I realized it wasn't me. I even had one guy one time to tell me, because I remember asking him, I'm like, why? Can't you just appreciate me for the good woman I am? And he told me, and I appreciate what he told me. It hurt like hell. But he told me, he said, I know you're a good woman. You are a very good woman. But have you ever stopped to think it's not you, it's me? He told me that. And you know what? It hurt like hell. But guess what? I realized he was right. And so through the years, well, as the years went by, I started to realize rejection doesn't mean that anything has to be wrong with you. Sometimes people know they're not good enough to have you. Or sometimes people don't want to hurt you. So for all of you out there that you deal with rejection, whether you're a man or a woman, don't look at something is wrong with you. Look at it that they probably know something about themselves that you don't know. And them rejecting you is probably the best thing they could ever do for you. Learn how to love and value yourself. Learn to love yourself so deep as if you would have your soulmate right there with you. Because often, we as people, men and women, we often think that having someone else will totally complete us. And that's not always the case. I see a lot of married people, and I saw a lot of married people over the years that I thought was very happy. In public, they displayed this just happy, Bill Cosby and Claire Huxtable kind of relationship, like the show Bill Cosby, which I love Bill Cosby, okay. And but behind closed doors, they were miserable. And eventually, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Eventually, relationships, marriages that I thought would last forever, I saw them broke up. And I remember I used to envy sometimes, not like in a way that I was jealous, like, how could you have someone and I don't? And bitch, I hope your stuff fall apart. Not like that. But I would envy them. I'm like, wow, like, I wish I could have that love, that acceptance, that unity, that bond, that that help. I wish I could have it. And I had no idea what was going on behind closed doors. That's why it's important. Never ever covet anything that anybody else have, because you don't know what that person had to go to get what they have. And you don't know what that person goes through behind closed doors. Sometimes you can see couples even out in public. They seem like they so doggone happy, but you don't know what it's like behind closed doors, so never envy it. But I feel bad for the younger generation. I really do. And I think that it all starts within oneself. You know, like a lot of young people are very broken because they come from very broken homes. And they come from homes where they have seen no love, maybe abuse, maybe their mama or their daddy using someone. And so they just kind of grow up with the idea that, okay, this is how life's supposed to be. I'm supposed to get with this man just to try to use him for his money. I'm supposed to get with this woman and try to get what I can get out of her because my daddy's a pimp. Or it isn't even about like bad homes, like financially, because there's some people that have money and kids still see dysfunction in the home. Dysfunction behavior, dysfunctional behavior. And what they see at home is what they grow up with and what becomes a part of them, a part of their way of thinking and a part of what they think that life should be about. And that's not what life should be about. So I feel like there's a lot of broken young people because they come from broken homes. So when good guys like my son or other good men that I know, or even good women, try to find someone that they can connect to, or they want a relationship for true love, they can't find that. And to me, that's really sad because I feel like the younger generation should have a chance to say that, hey, I got married, or I have a girlfriend or I have a boyfriend. I just feel like everybody should have that opportunity to experience it once, whether it works or not. I mean, I've experienced so much in life. So I'm at the age, no, I'm not old, but I'm older. And I've had so much of life lessons and I've learned so much. So I realized that loving myself is the most important thing to me. And it fulfills me. And I'm just really past like the stage of just being lonely. I mean, I've entertained myself well, okay? I really do. And I just wish that the Creator would change the hearts of so many people, young people. And young people, I wish you would just wake up and see the beauty in you. See the beauty within yourself. And for those who have come from bad backgrounds, dysfunctional backgrounds, know that you don't have to be a product of your environment. You can choose to change. You can choose to become that person that you desire to become because you control your destiny to a certain extent. And the Creator has given you a free will to love or to hate. But let me tell you, it's so much easier to love than to hate. It keeps you younger faster and longer. Take it from me. Many years, I'm full of love. I'm full of love. Despite of all my hardships, all my bad experiences, all my disappointments, all of the narcissists and fuckery I've been through, they did not break me to the point that I was bitter and I lost love. I will never lose love because having love is just who the Creator created me to be. And it feels so much better to love. I will tell you, I have been at a point in my life where I was so angry. And I tell you, it takes so much energy to be angry and to hate. I have been to the point I used to look in the mirror and when I was angry and I would look in the mirror and I would swear I looked so much older. I mean, I promise you, hate and being upset gave me my first gray hair. Okay. And I had the guy I was in a relationship with, he was a narcissist. He was real young, way younger than me, but he was a serious narcissist. And he was kind of reminded me of like Blueface, the rapper Blueface, but he just wasn't famous. But he was like, hey, look at your hair. I think you got a gray. And I was like, what? I don't have a gray. I was like, I want to say probably late 30s or something. But anyway, I had looked and I had got my first gray. I was like, you know what? I got to get away from this person here because if not, my whole head would be gray. And luckily, I have not had to dye my hair, y'all. And I'm 52 years old. And this is the actual natural color of my hair. But I'm not saying I know the gray is coming, y'all. It's okay. When the gray comes, I will embrace it, okay? I will embrace it and love me and my hair because I know it will eventually come. I do have a little bit of gray, but so far I've not had to dye my hair. Will I embrace it forever? I don't know. I probably will eventually dye my hair. I'm contradicting myself, but anyway. But just if I had stayed with that darn narcissist, who I would have, all my hair would have been gray, honey. Young people, find the beauty within yourself. Love yourself. Learn to love yourself. So one day you can have somebody that can love you just as much as you love yourself. And you can have a union because it's not impossible. Yes, the love of many have waxed cold. But it's all about changing the way one thinks, and learning the beauty of love, because love is medicine to the soul. God is love. And pure love is the strongest force in the universe. It can pierce through any and every form of darkness. So, one thing I'm going to always pray. I'm going to pray for the young folks, okay? Don't get me wrong. Yes, older people, we are important. But our young people are our future generation. And for all you good, loving hearted people out there, we have to really keep our young people in prayer. Because it's very important. They're our future generation to come. I miss Tell Like It Is. I told it like it is. And now I'm out. Tulu.